All right, guys, welcome to Sidetracked. So we saw Rogue One. I'm sure some of you have as well. And today we just kind of want to talk just a little bit about, without spoiling it for anyone who hasn't seen it, how we feel about it, whether we would recommend it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the fan service. I think there was a lot of fan service. Some of it was good.
Yeah.
And some of it was kind of unnecessary, to me anyway.
So there's two types of fan service. If you're a diehard Star Wars fan that knows the canon and all that stuff, you've been watching Rebels, you've been watching Clone Wars, you've watched everything. The fan service was awesome.
Yes, the deeper stuff was really good.
Was so good. If you are just kind of a leisurely, you go, you've really only watched the movies, the fan service was not as enjoyable. And I don't say that it's not enjoyable because it was there, and that's why to me it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah, it was some of it was a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
A little hard to explain without being able to tell you what it was, but there could have been a little less of it for my taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
The overall length of it, I think it was a little long. I think it was a little long. I think that it had to span so much information, so much time, and so much going on that it was hard to develop every character the way that I think they deserved to be developed.
It could have.
What was the runtime? It was 2 hours and
2 hours and
minutes, right?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
I'm going to look it up real quick while you talk.
So, yeah, the length. I didn't mind the length. A lot of people say it's slow to begin with, and it is. It does take a while to get going, but I don't think... It takes a while to get going because that's the only character development they have, is in that beginning.
2 hours and 13 minutes.
2 hours 13. So that development, for what development it has, is really necessary, because if they don't have that...
Yeah, then there's no development at all. So I think it could have been a little... It could have stood to be a little shorter or way longer.
And we talked... Yeah.
Is the problem. It needed like another movie for backstory.
Yeah.
Or to not include any... Yeah. And just like have it go through and like sprinkle it in as you go.
We were talking about this earlier, is that Disney, because it owns all this, probably could have lined this up better with some of their cartoon episodes, like Rebels, where you threw in the characters from this film into Rebels. That way you get to know them. Yeah. And then this film makes more sense. Well, not more sense. It's easier to relate.
Yeah, it makes you... It would have given you a little bit more to hang on to with the characters and be like, oh, I know this person did this, and that's why this person's important. Mm-hmm. All of that. In my opinion, the score not being from John Williams was rough. It was like you likened it to Vanilla Ice.
It was Vanilla Ice score,
where it's like, oh, that's Star. No, it's not. Yes, no, it's not. Yeah. So it was. I think that in parts where things were like really stressful or supposed to be really sad, John Williams has a way of just conveying that perfectly in Star Wars movies. And I think that fell a little flat for me. And it's such a weird thing to have like a gripe with. The background music of this movie was weird. It was just different enough that it was a little bit weird for me.
I liked it. I thought it had to be different, but it still had to remind me of Star Wars. Right. The intro, like when you think of New Hope and you hear the music coming in, you get the Vanilla Ice. You get that it's just enough of the same, but it is just enough different that it makes its own movie. And I think that's what this movie needed. It needed to be like, hey, we're a Star Wars film, but we are different.
I'm a firm believer the crawl shouldn't have been in it. I like that a lot, that they didn't include that. It wasn't a main story.
It was weird. It felt weird. I'm glad it was not the scroll was not there, but it felt weird.
It did feel weird. There was... The people I've talked to have had a difference in opinion of the CGI in the movie. Mm-hmm. I think that, and without spoiling it, I don't want to give anybody or anything away. Some of it was really good, and some of it was...
Very weird.
Very weird. There was a little bit, and without saying who it is, they brought back a few characters that don't look the way that they look in this time frame. And the CGI was really well done, except it hit like the uncanny valley for me. Like the AI, like CGI uncanny valley.
It's you look too much.
Yeah, you look so much like it that like anything that's not perfect makes me just like uneasy.
And that's why Mon is in the trailer, so I'll bring her up.
Mon Mothma, yeah.
She wasn't CGI'd.
Right, she was an actual person.
I knew she was different. She had different mannerisms. She presented herself a little different, but was much like the character. But I didn't mind that. I could tell she was different. I was okay she was different as long as she played the role well, and she played the role really well.
Yeah.
So those other characters where they tried to make them identical.
Yeah.
It was like, but it's not the same person. Why is this? It just felt so
weird.
fun. Yeah, and you'd see them hit the screen, and they would talk and be fine. Then there'd be one spot you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, like don't turn your face that way because that was weird. So I guess the last thing, where does it rank for us? Right. So I've heard differing opinions. I've heard some people go so far as to say it was their favorite Star Wars movie, the best that there has been. Like
since the.
Even I've heard people say that it was better than Empire, like better than any of the original trilogy, better than anything. I've heard people that have hated it.
Yeah.
So we've only seen it once. I know we would benefit from multiple viewings.
Yeah. My view is that if you are one of those leisurely fans, you only go for the prequels, and you've only seen the prequels and the original 3, you're not going to like this. The people that said they did not like it were those type of people, and it's because it's new characters, the lore and the fan service that's in there that is enjoyable will not suit them. It won't make sense to them. And it's just like everyone thinks Star Wars and they think Jedi and they think the Sith and they see that battle.
It is so far removed from what you're used to.
And that's why I really like it.
That's why I liked it too.
I like it because it's like it finally expanded on the universe that I want to see. I want to see more. I want to see that there's more going on in the background. When it was moving from planet to planet in the beginning,
cool, it was awesome. Like,
planets you've never seen. It was so cool to see. So to me, there's 2 tiers when it comes to Star Wars. There's such a difference between the prequels and the originals, and
trilogy.
You got
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens in there. Fork Awakens.
The Spoon Awakens.
So to me, I want to say Rogue is probably 4, and it may move up if I see it a few more times because there's some of the fan service that I did miss that I want to go back and see. So it's up there. I don't think it compares to New Hope or even comes close to Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. I have a hard time rating it without seeing it more than once.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I still like The Force Awakens more than I liked that. But it does merit more viewing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things in The Force Awakens kind of caught me as weird the first time I watched it. And, things become more forgivable as you watch more times.
Absolutely.
So I'd say right now it's probably in my top 5. But it's at the bottom of my top 5 right now. I think it's exactly what Star Wars needed. I think it was a really good idea.
Yeah.
I just think there were things that, not that I matter, but that I would have handled a little differently that made it less enjoyable for me than it could have been. It was gritty. It was a war movie. It was all the things that you never see.
Yeah.
Right? You see a little bit of it on Endor, and you see a little bit of it on Hoth, and you see, little drips and drops of it. I just spit all over that side of everything. Little pieces of it. But you never get immersed in it. It was just there to show you, oh, this is happening. Yeah. But now we're gonna go over here and talk about lightsabers.
And we talked about this, how we're not really excited for the other spin-offs. But if they do more spin-offs, I want them to be like this. I don't want them. I know you don't really want them in this era. I think this era has a lot to give, especially after the Battle of Endor. I think there's so much you can go into there. And then we were both really interested in what happens, KOTOR.
Yeah, KOTOR area. Yeah. I think that I also hope that if they do that, like I don't care about Han Solo. I don't care about Boba Fett. I love them both, but I don't need movies on them.
Yep.
I want them to introduce new groups of people that are experiencing this, if they're going to pick this era and if they have to do it, I want them to be, it's showing a parallel timeline, but have nothing to do with it.
And you have the Council of the Alliance, right?
Yeah.
You could do
you could branch a lot
they
off of
each
that.
have their own army. Mm-hmm. You could do one for each of those, and they have their own army. It shows their battle fighting for their homelands and things like that. It expands the universe, gives you new characters, and still adds to that timeline. So,
well, you guys let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Where do you rank it? Don't put spoilers in the comments, please, just because I don't know who's going to watch it and who's not going to watch it and when they're going to watch it.
Make sure you alert people if you have spoilers.
If you do spoiler tag it. Do you want to see more of this kind of stuff from Disney? Do you want more backstory? Do you want more different characters? What do you want to see?
Yeah.
I guess is kind of where we're at. I think that overall we're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we hope you enjoyed it too.